All right. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? A nice Monday afternoon or morning, or some of you maybe evening. Let's get this show started. So let me get things up here. Share screen. And let's get started. Let's wait for people to find this stream and get everything ready. Let's see. We want to take a look at this thing. And we want to go to Meteor as well. Have this here in the background. And want to have this. So let's see. Let me get things on the social media. And everything set up. And let me go to sounds. That will be just no importance. So here we go. Let's just a little bit longer. So I can So today I will be looking at React.js alternatives in Meteor. So that's that, and finally over here. And interesting. What do we have here? Alert. We have a fake website impersonating Meteor brand. Silence is safe and secure threat. Never share, of course, personal information. So let's see if there is a way to visit this safely. Okay, no. So it's a new alert remains so I have it automatically blocked. And since we are on this topic, as I get started out of security, one thing that I do use and which I'll be putting here is my next DNS. Let's see if we can get this here. So, and I would say section can also be a DNS. I'm using, and when I think about it, do I have an affiliate link or something that I could push in there? Because if I have it, why not? the account. Yes. So that's always the thing. So I have the fraudulent newly registered main block. So I can put that in there. Anything new on the forums? Doesn't look like it. So we have this public announcements. Be aware of fraudulent websites. Don't even know what it looks like. Don't really care. With Meteor, it's very simple. Meteor.com, and anything underneath that is official. So what am I looking at today? Is React and its alternatives, especially going on future. When I was at the React Congress next in Poland, Warsaw, I was not too happy of what I was seeing. This blog post kind of have me the other way. That might be interesting, but I want to use this opportunity to look at some alternatives. Before I go into that, please like and share this video. It really helps out. I'm just starting out, and the more people know about this, the more people join, the better I can get then in the algorithms, and can then spend more time working on this, making this even better. So let's get this started. This was February 2024, so just after the conference. And they're talking about pretty much what React 19 is going to be. Primarily React compiler, which should hopefully help with re-renders and all that other annoyances when you have, so to help in performance wise. They are adding actions, which especially in Meteor is not something that I found useful or that I will find useful, but alongside it, they have this use optimistic, and it's kind of goes to what I've been feeling for a while, that people are just reinventing Meteor in one way or another. So that's there. And then big thing, which I think Meteor will be able to really implement and use, would be asset loading. I love to see how it, especially for style link and script, I think that would work very fine. To see how if that works for the other things like image. And of course document metadata, so you will not need React Helmet, which I'm kind of mixed on. It's okay, nice to have it out of that, one less dependency to worry about. But then again, it's not something that we want in the core of React necessarily. So that's all for React. Looking forward to React 19 and implementing that in Meteor, some of the new features. I am going to post a link in the chat for Twitch and YouTube videos. I'm also streaming on X. Sadly, don't have the option to put things there. But as I was in Warsaw saying, okay, what are the alternatives? Is there something that can suit my needs a bit better, that integrates better with Meteor, and something that I could potentially migrate with less pain than if I went for like a full rewrite with Vue or something like that. And we have two potential alternatives. Could say from, if we take Angular as the first generation, React as the second, Vue as the third, then SolidJS would be the fourth, together with Qwik, which we'll look on in a moment. And so I will be trying these out, seeing how it works or does not work with Meteor. And let's see, where do we have? So we'll start with Solid, and we'll see what it will create with Solid. So it will use also Wheat as a build. So I will have to unlearn some of the tricks that I know with Meteor. I expect it will be quite a bit different from what I am used to. So let us open up a terminal and let's go into my Meteor work folder and let's take a look. But before we go there, I kind of want to take a look. Let's see, to get started. Both of these, I will start, sorry, not Wheat. That will be hopefully not managed by me. We have, there we go. So let's start with SolidJS and let's see what we have here. So why I chose these, besides it being one, I could say one extra generation after Vue and similar, is that it's very similar to React. So it is very similar to code base I'm used to. When it comes to Vue, let's take a quick look here. It's been really used as well. It's very similar to, in a way, with these Vue bind and similar. That's how Angular got started. It's also similar to Blaze, which in a way might be better to work with Meteor. But I just don't know. I don't think I can get back into it, and I like more the approach HTML in JavaScript, which is what React has, than JavaScript in HTML, which I would say for the most part, what is it, there's just too much extra stuff into HTML, and I just don't like it. It's just how should I say? It just doesn't work that well with me. Plus, of course, if I want to migrate to something, it has to be similar to React, so it's at least a little bit smoother migration path on that part. So those were kind of my, I think, say, an honorary mention before we really get into the things is Hono, which I've looked up a few weeks back, actually maybe almost a month. And one of the things that it has is also has, pretty much its own JSX set up to do things. But of course, with Hono, it's pretty much, as far as I know, all server based, and it just sends kind of generated stuff to the client, and pretty much what we have with server components with React, which is one of my issue. It's kind of returning back to the days of PHP, and I cannot. One reason why I went away from PHP was because I didn't want to do that. Plus, of course, want to make sure that we have all the other goodies as well. Of course, we have also RPC and all those things here. So clients components. So I guess I will have to kind of learn more into how it goes with these things. Okay, let's look at their new Solid docs here and use that. So we have here this, but let's track back. We have here, oh, Svelte was the one that I was forgetting. Apologies, Svelte guys. So Solid, let's see, do we have for Qwik? Interesting, we don't have a template for Qwik. So maybe that might be a good, how should we say it? Outcome of this. Once I try Solid, I might actually try to create a Qwik template. Or what do they have here? Do you even have it listed here? Flowbyte, Solid, Vue, React, Svelte, Blaze, Vite, Electron, React Native, GraphQL. We don't have Qwik here. Oh, I guess since Qwik also uses Vite, we should be able to put it in. But it will be after the break. So let us get started with Solid. So Meteor create, I'll call it Solid Playground. Have it as a Solid template. And let us get started. So it installs the Vite bundler and all that stuff. So this is, I think, for me, first time I'm using Meteor with Vite. So we shall see how that is going to work. First of all, I want to check how we are with any major updates. So this is starting at Vite 3. And we are at Vite 5. Wow. We have Vite plugin Solid SVG. Solid is fine. Well, that's a good question. Can we update just Vite here without any consequences? I think what we can do is upgrade, do the minor updates without any consequences. Maybe with the Solid SVG there. Might not like it, so let's do Meteor install. Let's do Meteor update. And let's see, what do we have here? We have here again the Blaze tools and some other things, which is I really should get back to my PR that move some of the things that we have in Blaze tool to the core, so that we can have, I think it should be in HTML tools, so that we don't have to have all the Blaze stuff included when we don't need it. Okay, let's have that as a second thing. So let's see. Let's put up here a new text editor, and let's put up what we said that I'm going to do. So we'll look into Qwik skeleton for Meteor. That's one, and then we have place to PR update. So those will be the two big things I'll be looking at. So let's keep it up here. Let's pick up our Pomodoro timer and let's get going with our first part, which is hopefully And I think probably also added to the list is update read in and it's solid skeleton. So we have these 3 bonuses or targets. Let's take a look at localhost 3000. Maybe the updates were not what I was supposed to do. So if that's the case, I will have to revert. And let's open up this. So we have where do we go? It should be here, solid playground. I'll just open this in this window to make it simpler. So first things first, let's backtrack to the update I made. I think especially the plugin should not be something that I should be updating. So that's one. But other than that, it should be fine. So let us switch here to the terminal right here. And get back this plugin back to what it used to be. So let's see. We are starting Meteor as it should be normally. Localhost. Okay, less errors. But we still got nothing. So what do we have? Oh, because we have nothing here on the client, which for some reason has JSX. And in here we have client main. So it starts here. It's supposed to render app. So let us go to the solid documentation and let us get started on what we have. That's the basic install. And we have here intro to reactivity, which we have hopefully by default in solid. So we did the create signal, then we set count. So that's like state. And we'll talk it later. First, we want to just do the, get the initial starting point. And it's kind of missing here. So I just install it and it's going to work. I don't think that's how it works. Yes, we have function app, life cycle, rendering, all the usual stuff. I'm expecting things going to work similar to React. Some quirk, yes. But my question is, how the heck do I get it to display? If I go to the client or the UI main here, it just does this. Oh, supposed to render it into the root. Let's just have remove these guys. And let's see if that is going to help us. Let's see any rendering. So I'm going to have to build it again, or how does it work with Beat? Class the UI main, that's supposed to work. It's supposed to take app and render it. So let's look at this SolidJS web thing. That doesn't look. Well, it's definitely a library, otherwise. Oh, sorry, my mistake. So, okay, so that's just the basic solid one, and so we need to find it here. How routing guides. Let's go to reference. And there should be somewhere render or whatnot. Here we go. Rendering, hydrate is server render. So yeah, it does the, yeah, so that's exactly as it is supposed to be according to documentation. In the body, we have, of course, what's that? Okay, here we have the ID root. That's where everything should be rendered into. And nothing does. What's this? The app. Hello, welcome to Meteor. Just keep things simple. This main entry point is there, so it's no need here. Some basic CSS, and of course, the no script thingy. Well, look at that. Could not resolve. That's why. So it forgot. Instead of client here, it should be import UI main.jsx. Now it's the correct one. No. Not really sure how the hot module reloading is going to work here, but it's supposed to work. There's the server running. And still nothing. So let's see, what if I move this main JSX over there instead of the, of course, it's going to be, let's do absolute imports. Imports UI app. Let's just go with that. So supposedly refreshed. React is not defined. Really should not. There should be no reason to define React. That kind of thing, with JSX. Main on line 7. So any Solid fans that can do as a Solid and help us out of this mess. Maybe we need to actually do the JSX thing import. It's the browser app, enter path, upload component function, and an element to mount to. It is recommended this element be empty, while render will just append children. The returned suppose function remove all children. So we can even do it without having the and like this. So let's give that a try. Oh, in that case, I don't even have to put it like that. Just app. Be root. Okay. And now it has uncaught reference error React is not defined. But this time it's in the app. So at least that part is working as it should. So I'm JSX. How do you get rid of the missing React warning? So SolidJS, React is not defined. And this time it's in React.js. This is for React though. SolidJS, Meteor.js. I'll just try it like this. React is not defined. So, okay, the demo is here. Let's look at the demo. Maybe I'm missing something here. This app is a simple example of using the SolidJS framework, but it uses Solid Meteor data on npm. Not really that much into that. And here we have and Tailwind, which I couldn't care less for. So we start with the Solid as I did. But that didn't work. So we had Vite. Let's double check here. Vite plugin Solid, yes. And we have SolidJS as an npm plugin. Vite QwikJS. Let's look into that one if that is set up correctly. So we have the Solid plugin. And here we have the imports, or how it's supposed to be. That one is not working. So let's try just the client. Wait, look at this. Okay, this is a bit of an interesting thing happening here. No, so this one is not a real. Okay. Restarting servers, Vite server restarted. I'm getting more and more confused. Okay, so but we have this is pretty much the same. We have the same entry point. The main is the same. And they kept it there, which is very, very strange to me. So, okay, let's follow this. In this case, it's imports UI. Let's keep it like that here. And the main module here, but is still like that. This is for Tailwind, which we don't care. So let's UI app. We have it even simpler. I have just H1 there. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then we have signals later on. So why do we have issues with seeing anything? This one is copy script. Wow, nice. This one seemed to be a little bit more advanced and not exactly what I want. But let's check out this plugin on Atmosphere. So 2 years since latest release. That's why we want to stick with the NPM. But this seems to have the server-side rendering functionality and all that stuff, which let's see what is the latest on September 2022. Okay, so they have this. So this predates the Vite bundler that we have. So let me check. Okay, so Vite bundler is there. Hey. Yes. Hi, Fred. Welcome. Yeah, I just created it. And as you said, the NMI is a different approach that uses Vite. But I'm still struggling with that one. I just got a security update. So what we have is the main.js6 is empty. We have the main here with the root. In the app, I just have the basic app without anything else. Thing is, though, that's getting here is I get nothing. And even Meteor Dev still is saying that like Meteor is not alive, or what is going on here? Yeah, it doesn't look like Meteor is running on 3000, which very, very strange to me. Let's look at the Vite config. I have not touched it, so let me actually make this also bigger so it's readable. Oh, geez, about that. Let's go 125, otherwise it's too much. Goes to imports UI.main.jsx. We have the Solid plugin, we have the Solid SVG, and everything looks okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this Solid playground. I'm going to, okay, now it shows me that it's failed, so that's correct. I'm just Meteor. So Solid playground, I'm going to delete it, and let's do this again, just in case I miss something. So Meteor create Solid playground -solid. So let's take a look. Maybe I've tried to update too early. So that might be my sin, trying to be up to date every time. So we have that. Let's start my WebStorm here, which should open up in the same thing. So if everything as it used to be, one thing that we kind of need to talk about is updating the dependencies, because with these two major versions ahead of everything. But let's just do npm run start here and see what we get out of that. And then we can maybe try Babel presets. Interesting. Let's try if just a fresh load. No. Something is not playing nice here with me. So refuse to connect to imports UI main because it was document content security policy. What? Oh, because it goes to localhost 5173, which of course will violate the content security policy. So that's what the issue here is. Or how if I can, oh yeah, I can. And I think this might be on my side because I have some service workers. So let me just clear everything. That might be it. And let's see. Yes, so that was it. I had probably service worker from my other application that used the 3000. So it works as service worker should, which of course, if it tries to go to another server, so I'm guessing Vite is running it's like its own server thingy from which it serves. So that's the 5167 port or whatnot. and that creates the issue. So with Solid here, we have the signals and everything. So let's now take a look at things here. Now that we have things going, I'm going to be pedantic about updates. That's just one of my things. And okay, now stubs are on the latest. Let's get the latest version of Solid. We want, of course, also the presets for Solid. 8.15 be here. The latest plugin for Vite on this part. Let's see, do we have wait on this one as well, and let's see if we can get the latest on Vite 3, if nothing else. And personally, I recommend always to set it to direct versions. Just makes things, I would say, easier. So you know what version you are getting. And we got our first request from Pomodoro to have a short break. So I shall start this break while I'll talk. And get my water. So not really a break, just getting things sorted out. That took way much longer than I expected. Started a bit late though. I'm guessing this update is not going to do anything. I'm going to be, we have these things done, bit experimental, update everything. If that's going to work, then well, that will be great. I doubt it. Usually these, especially going 2 versions of Vite, who knows? Maybe it will be just the simple, the best of all upgrades. If you can just write that. So Fred says that at least Vite 4 should work. And yeah, you are correct. 5 is not working because I would say this in this case, that is because it requires larger than Node 14, given at least by the syntax, because I think this came in Node 15 or 16. So let's give us Vite 4.5. And then we can try from Jürgen, different one. Let's stick with the official one a little bit longer. And this one starts and seems to be running fine. So we can at least upgrade to Vite 4. And since we want to give back to community, let's open up here my Meteor version. So I'll have to get cracking, and let's get back here to get onto the branch, devil branch, and there. Okay, so let me just do this behind the scenes quickly. Meteor over here. And I will be jumping to the latest development. which has my, or is it? Yes, the latest development, which has merged my underscore 1.6 patch. And as you can see, I'm working on the other one. But this time around, we'll be going a little bit more into the internals, and we are looking at tools under static assets. And we have here the solid skeleton. And what we are just going to do is I'm going to copy, of course, our versions that we have here that run. SolidJS is going to go to version 15. And then over here we have 1.815. Here we can go to 4.2. This plugin goes to 10.1. And this one goes to 0.80. So that's that. Let's leave that behind. And let's have a bit of a play here. So kind of not sure why the main has to be empty, but okay. At least we don't no longer have the, we no longer have the React error we got before. And let's see how things work. A plus here is that we can just do Meteor subscribe, apparently, or at least for the basic subscription. Then we create a signal. And also signal to list, have a collection for the links. And then we have set is ready. So it's in tracker auto run. And then we have set links is async. So we can use the wait here, use fetch async. And then, of course, when it's ready, we have here the show, which is from SolidJS as expected. And interesting, instead of like React, where I can have these, say, 4 functions and all that stuff, I could probably do that in, I guess, in Solid as well. But in this case, they have even a dedicated component, which is similar to Blaze and other. We have 4, and then it's just links and displaying the links. Not bad. That's probably an improvement from React in a way, but it depends on your preferences. And here we have the on-click set counter +1 reference. Just where to info, this is the app. Counter +1. So pretty much straightforward. So what do you guys think? Let me also switch here over here for coding, so a better view. Now then we can go to see what's the difference. So it was line close standards. Copy paste solution from sources like Stack Overflow and direct usage. Using JSX immediately as it returns DOM elements. This lets you dynamic expression of your HTML by allowing variables and functions to be referenced with the curly braces. Yeah, so nothing new here. So the main thing here is it's about the fine-grained reactivity with JSX. that it's that's at least what it's advertising here. Let's do this context of single root element, close all tags, HTML attributes. Okay, so it can use class out of the box. It doesn't have to be class name like in React. On-click handles the same. It has to be, double brackets for objects, of course. Properties. Now, this is interesting. Static props, the usual. Directly intentional by cloning the template and using them as attributes. Okay. Dynamic props rely on state, allowing the content or properties to be dynamic. An example is changing the style of an element in response to interaction with an application. So with signals, data transfer props are also used to fill components with data that comes from resources like create resource call. This results in a component that react in real time to data changes. So look at the props page next. Fixed or dynamic applied in the order defined within the JSX. This works with DOM elements, but will not work with elements that require attributes to be defined in a special order, such as input types with type range. The element behavior users must use the expression or. Okay, that's new. Interesting. Want to look at the props page now. What do they tell us? So that's the props.name, merge props. So the function designed to merge multiple potentially reactive objects together. It behaves similar to object assign, but will retain the reactivity of the properties being merged. Okay, why? There is no existing value or okay, so it merges, can get the props, then you merge your new props into it, and through using this function, it retains reactivity instead of creating new objects. Okay. Destructing props. Props are read-only so that child components do not directly modify the data passed by the parents. This is also encourage one-way data flow. Okay. I think that's pretty much the same, at least I'm using it in React. A pattern often seen promote more table management. The searching props is not recommended as it can break reactivity. That's good to know. Instead, you should access props directly from the props object or wrap them in a function to ensure they are always up to date. Okay, that's pretty cool. Split props is a utility function designed to help split a single props object into multiple sets of props, returning the reactivity of the individual properties, precisely to structure props without breaking reactivity. Okay, so yeah, then okay, greeting props, personal reset plot, and a split. Okay, not bad. And passing is like that. Okay, so that's going to get a bit used to. Props rank is a term used to describe the process of passing props through multiple layers of components. I do that a lot in React. This pattern, it can also lead to problems. Yes, when components are nested deeply, passing props through each component can become difficult to manage. Actually, it can lead to components receiving props that they do not need, unnecessary renders, and trouble refactoring. Since comments do not own state, props are not needed to pass state between components, but might be used. Because of this, there might be times when you need to pass props through multiple layers of components. A common solution to this problem is to use context, as in React, to pass state to deeply nested components without having to pass props through each components in browser. Okay, so that's a lot of interesting things. The main thing or the main theme I am seeing here is, how do we call it? Is the reactivity. So that's good. The class and style. So we have the style, can be both string or object. We're gonna have classes, of course, dynamic styling. So then it's classless. What's classless? When you want to apply multiple classes to element, you can use the classless attribute, pass either string or objects for the key represent. Okay. Let's quickly jump here to styling your components. We have Sass, less, not care about that. Or do we have CSS modules? And we have CSS in JS, because I'm using styled components right now. That's probably the most interesting to me. Solid Echoes, there are various libraries and solutions available for working with CSS in JS, including but not limited to solid styled components. I'm guessing those are going to be these library style components and CSS helper found in popular JS and CSS libraries. Gobber also adds theming solution. So in essence, this is one option how to do these. So class, does that as a CS? Okay, I see. Keyframes, global styles, theme. You can set a theme provider or signals if you want it to be reactive. So let's see what we have theme here, some text render. So it seems to have most of what styled components have. Let's quickly check the other one. Style.jsx. Solid Insight Style.jsx, that's a new one. Support for JSX without compromises. We have a website. Just npm, okay. Okay, so that looks so we have these solutions available to us. At least that's good to know that I have some choose to. Kind of a bit sad that I don't have a direct. Well, the first one was more closer to styled CSS, and here we have macaron. Oh, well, that's something for another day. So that's the styling. Let's quickly look here at event handlers. We have, so of course, the regular on click, event delegation, click, mouse over, key down. Okay, I'm not too fond of these on something, on custom event. Okay, it's special custom and okay, so be it. Binding can be bounded by passing an array to the event handler. The second item of the array is applied to the handler's first argument. Handler, hello. Okay, send in this example, the string hello. Second item in the array is passed as the data parameter. The first argument. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. But at the same time, in React, you can do this as well. It's a bit more cumbersome, not as nice and easy, but maybe more to the core of that things. So I'll probably show it later. Have here a comment from Laurie from Beacon team. Hi, Laurie. Nice to see you again. With CSS in JS, it is visible at all browsers that have limited or no JavaScript support. So CSS in JS, what I like about it, let me actually open up, for example, this project where I have. What I like about it, I think it's kind of keeps up with the I would say the original vision of React or JavaScript. Let's see. Let's find some. Doesn't really matter. I just want some nice example. So this one is a little bit overpowered. It shouldn't be like that. But for me, the main thing is with CSS in JS that I can define, in this case, specific element. And in it, I define, here I can define the CSS. It's here. It's not in some other, file. And then once I use this element later on or component later on, I can either have it like in a spec, if it's just this. In this case, the nav link is, I think, from React router. And I'm defining here mobile nav link and defining how it should look. This could potentially be in its own file as separate component, but since I'm not using it, or maybe I'm using it, no. Yeah, I'm using it in other places, so I should probably move it outside of here. But then, I can use that as it can be its own thing. It's kind of changed the use of CSS in JS. Before you were passing in class names that it generated and all that stuff. You can still do that. But now it, I have only client side. I don't have SSR, but it works with SSR as well. In my case, once I switch back here, I'm using styled components for React. And then they do have all the SSR stuff as well, I do believe. Let's see. It's going to be server-side rendering over here. So you provide that there, and what it does in the end on the client is it generates classes and attaches them automatically to the element that we are working with. So I like in my code when I have it all together, so I don't have to have, again, and that's why I originally liked React, because I have it one component, one file. I don't have to have HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript file somewhere else. So it's all in one place together. I don't have to constantly switch. I don't have to have ginormous CSS or anything like that. It's there where it should be and nothing else. So let's take delegated events, BL click. So pretty much the usual, nothing out of the ordinary. So conditional rendering. So we have the show, which you already saw. So show when data loading is that, or when it's the opposite, and then there is a fallback. So this seems to act similar to suspense in React, switch and match. Switch. So then you can use match when condition 1, condition 2. So okay, so they have it's a utility component, which in React this you do mostly kind of by hand, constantly, if and all that stuff. Switch, fallback, when. Okay. What's dynamic here? Dynamic is a component that allows you to render components dynamically based on data by passing either string representing a native HTML element or a component function to the component prop. You can render the chosen component with the remaining props you provide. So here we have dynamic. We have here the JSX at the top. So we have select. We have the options there. And then we have dynamic component based on the options selected. Okay, this is pretty neat. And as the signal changes to some other thing, it will then pick up based on the object here, which one of these three it should display. That's really nice. Let's see this one. Switch blue div. So when I select, okay, so that's another implementation. In this case, just code option. Following code renders the same result as the previous example. Okay, so that's using switch and match. Yeah, that definitely simplifies things in these aspects. I think it's so right now looking at it, my first initial impressions is that it has more, at least so far, claims to reactivity. It has some nice utility elements that you really, I think, really get into as you use it. So list rendering, I saw. So we set for each data. We have the item and index. So it looks to me this is just a wrapper around using map or for each function. Index, similar for is looping component that allow you to render elements based on the content of an array or object. However, when the order and length of the list remain stable, but the content might change frequently, index is a better option because it results in fewer re-renders. So foreground index accepts single property named each. which is where you pass the structure you wish to loop over. Item. Okay, wait. If I go for 4, do we have? Okay, so the interesting thing here is this is kind of the reactive approach. So item, it's a function, and then you kind of use it forward. And here they have. So when the order and length remain stable, but the content might change frequently. So the idea is that you render the list, the order and the length remains the same, but the list items, the content of that changes frequently. So that's why you use index. So it's based on optimization. While if you do that with the 4, it would probably re-render the entire list. In this case, it would be much more stable, less re-rendering. I dig that. That's pretty cool. And let's see, we have portal. Yes, so that's the same thing as in React portals. So it then renders it out. Challenge is, of course, the Z index on those things. So we have a portal. There's usually pop-ups and modules. And that's the same. Okay, error boundary, I'm guessing, is the same thing as in React, nothing here. So here we have effects. Our functions are triggered when the signal they depend on change. They play a crucial role in managing side effects, which are actions that occur outside of the application scope, such as DOM manipulation, data fetching it. So that's similar to use effect, I am guessing. Data fetching. Yeah, so this is pretty much use effect from React. And managing multiple signals. Looks like it does the data subscription on its own. Oh, I like they have this on mount here as well. React really got it once they switched away from classes. Really started, I think, kind of putting too many things into one thing. So let's actually let's use this on mount and let's improve this example. So okay, so it is on mount. Oh, this is interesting. So what we want to do is, see if we can use some of the effects instead of tracker autorun here. Since we are on that, so on mount is not really going to help us, because if anything on mount, that's where we put our subscription. We can keep it out here, doesn't really hurt anything. And then we use the tracker autorun. So we would here use create effect. I do wonder if we could, instead of an autorun, use the Right here. And then a description ready. Put it like that. Let's comment this out. Now the question is to have this, can we have an async function? Great effect. Try it first. Okay, so it does not like that. So where was the, it's here for data fetching. So that doesn't help us. So it subscribes to signals. In effect, it creates a subscription to it. This allows the effect to track the changes in the signals of value, which causes it to observe any changes that might happen and to execute its callback accordingly. So I think for this to work, the subscription itself would have to be a signal. Let's give this a try. So we create this as signal as a subscription. Then here we would do subscription, then dot ready. And then we would set the links. Or maybe not. Subscription dot ready is not a function. So let's take a look what happens if, oh, because we did not put it like this. Don't really need to set anything. That's not there. So let's try this. Like that, the subscription. First get it and then perform actions with it. Do that. Let's also carry it out, and since it's under info, let's put around the error boundary, which there was import boundary going to be from SolidJS. Was it just like that? Take a quick look at the error boundary. Yes, just from SolidJS. And I should probably add in here the fallback, otherwise it's not going to be happy. So we've got that. Let's see. Yes. So that's working perfectly. Very nice. And unrecognized value, skip inserting. Not bad, not bad. Let's see. Let's first do just the if I can just do subscription. Or is it there something else that it's, oh, okay. Oh, this is why it's crashing. before. Okay, now we are back. Here we have the everything else. Let's get rid of this and let's reinstate this. Sub and console.log sub dot ready. Oh, because I've removed this is ready completely. Where do I use it? Yes, when. So let's keep that, and no matter what, always do set this ready. This. I think you have to show here. There was the other one that seemed to be better, but let's see. Okay. It's not subscribing probably properly to it, or it might be because the ready is in a function, so it doesn't know its change. That would be my guess, and that's where we need the tracker constantly. Well, that's unfortunate. So, but not necessarily unfortunate as well, because then you use the good thing here is you can just use the tracker and other Meteor functionality without pretty much any wrapping, which compared to React and other things is, you have to use the hooks, and well, you could use it without the hooks, but you would still have to kind of go into effect, and here you just do this and you are happy. But yeah, that's pretty solid. And on more solid puns, I'm going to quickly take a break. Probably to get, let's see, some tea or something. Not too long. Or actually, let's go a little bit further to look here what Solid gives us out of the box. So we have routing. So after the break, I'm going to try routing if it works well in React. You already went about, so we'll go about the routing and navigation. Complex state management I'm going to fix for now. Actually, maybe let's click here. Create resource. That was the one I was thinking. Specialized signal designed to specifically for managing asynchronous data fetching. It wraps around the async operations, providing a way to handle various states, loading, success, and error. So fetch user, then we have the create resource, which is async. Let's give this a try before we go for a break. And that's, again, from Solid itself. We'll do create resource. And in this case, we have, let's get links, which will be async. In this case, we function, we don't need anything here. So we'll be awaiting this thing, but it then wants to return a response. So couldn't I just do my complex if I could just do this theoretically? And now for links, I could, let's do it. I can set that. Fonts, links, create resource, get links. The ready is a big question here, because if that's the case, I don't even have, theoretically, I don't have to wait here for ready. It should maybe pick it up by its own. No, it doesn't pick it up on its own. So let's see. And the reason is that maybe if I put in just maybe here. If actually this is going to do return what I want it to do. Let's take a look. Oh, that worked. So I can simplify, or maybe make this more complex, depending on your point of view. We can get the links using create resource. And pretty neat. The only thing is that we have to pass in the is ready, so it refreshes when the signal gets triggered. Let's see if we can quickly. Okay, here we have mutate simulation where immediate feedback or responsiveness is important. The mutate method offers optimistic mutations. Okay, we hear that very clearly in Meteor. These mutations provide instant feedback even while background processes such as server confirmations are still in progress. This function is particularly valuable in applications like task lists. So, fetch task from server, but they don't show me the. Is it here? No. So I will have to look more into that one. What exactly? Okay. Oh, I see. So if you add a new task and use the mutate, it will then refetch the data. Which, and we also have here the refetch. which is probably if we do the create resource. Now I think it would not be reactive if we started adding links in there. So again, back to tracker if you want to keep reactive. But it's a nice way that we can, well, yeah, then you would just use, you could use methods just to call and get data or some other things. So that's not a problem. I think refetch also will do the, well, refetch will refetch, nothing crazy there. That's pretty handy when it comes to data. Actually, one thing that I want to see, if Apollo has Apollo client, is that new? Oh yeah, that's old. So I want to go the docs, and I want to see, let's see, what do we have here? So they have only for React client. Yikes. Well, it's understandable. They just want to focus on where the corporations are and all that stuff is. So client developers API, and so that's a bit of a downside, which might keep me at React for the foreseeable future. Just, or I could probably ditch up Apollo and on the client and just use the functions there. So we do have some options, and we have built-in SolidJS router, but I'll do that on the promise break. Let me put up my, that's not it yet. I'm just taking a quick break. So I'll take a quick break. Everybody else should take as well, get some water, tea, bathroom break, and I will be back in 5 minutes. I'll have a counter here. So see you in 5 minutes. All right, I am back, but I'll still wait 1 minute, as I promised, 5-minute break. So let's jump back here, and I'll use this 1 minute to get us ready for the next step, which of course is to try out the SolidJS router. Just a few routes, nothing too crazy. Okay, short break, almost there, half a minute to go. How is everybody doing today? We'll be looking right now at Solid. Not Vue, where is the other one? Quick would be the next one. We'll kind of see if we can get a little bit of integration there. So we are starting now. So let's go and get this sorted out. So they said we should put the router around the app. Okay. And once we have that, we have routes and routes here in the app. Welcome to Meteor, and we'll put our routes here. We have route component. So this is difference here though is if I use component, I can just do like that. Specifically, I'll do hello here. And do, oops, this should be component. And then we have element, which I'll just do this. So that will be satisfactory. And this one is going to be at info. So that's configuring for routes. I like this is very similar to React router. Probably the same in implementation. Sure. Let's just add a here. Do 2 quick links. Uses ref. Hello and info. Let's go with the AI, what the AI suggests. You can have active class. Nice. That's a little bit better than React router, where it's a little bit more complicated to do this, but it's also possible to do. Then we have navigate, which is like a redirect apparently. Nested routes. Perfect, exactly as I would expect. About me, about Beautiful. Outlet. Oh, what's outlet? Also the outlet component to render the nested content within the parent component. The outlet component serves as a placeholder that will be replaced with the content of the match child route. So that would be, that's for we have it in React Router, so that's for layouts. That's really nice. Dynamic routing, I'm guessing this will be yes, ID, use params, identical. We have here is, okay, use params, you put it in there in the resource, everything is happy. Validating route. Okay, match filters. Ooh, so you can even add in options, what it could be, rejects. That's pretty solid. That's one up, I would say, above React Router, unless I've missed that somewhere in React Router. Optional routes. That's also new in React Router recently. Wildcard routes. Yeah, you have to actually put it if you have nested ones. The star. Multiple paths leading to one. Nice. But that's not that much big of a deal. Data components. Data comments are comments that fetch and manage data for a specific route. These comments offer a regular and reusable approach to handling data. Wow. So what you do here is you have like a data component. You do there, and then you pass data to the children, in which case that would be this. So that's nice. That's really nice. And inside the route component, use route data. So user data. Okay, I will have to look more into it, but that's maybe a little bit too much. Organizing. So, and here we can have the lazy imports. We have option to have hashes, which React Router doesn't do, and I tried the things that put it in, but doesn't work. Config-based routing, not something I would use, but great. Some primitives that you can use. Use navigate, perfect, same as in React Router. Okay, let's actually try the routes that we put in here, and actually, if I start the application, that is, see if that worked. But so far, just from the documentation, better than React Router. It has some extra functionality. I'm especially impressed that they have the hash routing, or the ability to handle hashes, which has been something that's been plaguing me. Okay. Wait, did I not install it? Not properly, damn it. No, it's here. SolidJS router. What do we have here? Routes. Doesn't like the existence of routes. Configure the routes. No, that should be there. That should definitely... That should be there. Routing. Okay, so it looks like that might be just a... I might have some additional stuff here as well. So it's not maybe needed. You can just go like that, route. It just might be issue with old and new documentation. After all, it's still there. Laurie, I see your question for Quick. We'll look at that in a moment once we get routing here. Make sure app is wrapped in a router, which it is. So why doesn't it like that? So let's router, and then we have the app. Router, route. The lazy loading, same. Let's see, rendering, stores. Let's see if everything else fails. We have to look into the old box, or let us look here. Router, route. So the routes that were there previously that in the guide, that no longer applies. And here we have root is app. Not so it should be possible to have it there. Dynamic routes. Route. Let's see what else do we have here from the top. Here we have router, and then we go into app. So if I do root app, exactly what we want. Typically not what we want. So can we go? It's for the A component. All right, that should be fine because we are already in the router here. Should be. Some reason the A-links don't like that. So what about now? Unrecognized value. Let's take a look back here. Just want the basic stuff. Nothing complex. So use the component. And try to get rid of it. So just let's go bare bones. Children undefined. So I guess for the top path or like the initial stuff, you cannot do. Let's go back here. Linking route. Actually, maybe even here. So I guess we would have to do the root here. Being app. And let's give this a try. So root is app. We put these things here. And in app, we have to have props.children somewhere. Okay. Oh, here we go. I just need to get the info here. But hello is working, but info. Oh, how can we do it also like this? They're using the element, which might be the issue. What? And this might be the issue. You are using here the element. And how do we go? It's probably, of course, people who use Solid know already what the issue here is, but so I'll have the error boundary around that, which will be enough. Reload not working already, but yeah, here we go. That's how it works. Okay, a little bit different approach than React Router, or well, similar. Just need to get used to the different ways how to work on things to make it work. And I'm sure a few more hours, and I could have a nicer setup working here. But this has been a positive, I would say, experience with Solid. A couple of pain points, but mostly because of trying it for the first time in experience. But from documentation and trying here, I think it also takes a few pain points that I have with React. So So, and probably later on, especially once with the hash links and all that stuff, if that works properly here, then that would be a huge advantage over React Router, which still hasn't gotten around to doing that. That doesn't look like it will, which is a bit of a problem for me. So, not a problem, just annoyance. So we'll have to look into that. So that was Solid. I think it's a potential solid replacement for React in maybe my future projects. Who knows? But now let's abandon this and let's look at the second solution. And Lori from Weekend asks, is Qwik for websites or web apps? I don't know. I just know that we don't have integration in Meteor with it. So let's explore this together to figure out what the heck is Qwik. I did only a very quick look at. It has similar React like syntax, so we shall see. So Qwik is a new kind of web framework that can deliver instant loading web application at any size or complexity. Your site and apps can boot with about 1 kilobyte of JS, and regardless of application complexity, and achieve consistent performance at scales. Bold claims. Let's see. So why Qwik? Delay execution and download of JavaScript for as long as possible. Part of Qwik is not in what it does, but in how it achieves its goal. Qwik goal is to have instant on application, even on mobile devices. Qwik achieves this through two main strategies. So delay execution and download of JavaScript for as long as possible. Serialize the execution state of the application and the framework on the server and resume it on the client. Setting only to download and execute the bare minimum of the application. So network bandwidth, startup time. Size should not be a developer problem. Oh, nice. Yeah, large bundles. I'm also fighting with that. And why not fix existing framework and tools? In short, the lazy loading philosophy must be done at a low level and cannot be. Apologies. All right, apologies. Unintended interruption. Be done at low level, cannot be replicated, added to the existing frameworks tools without changing them fundamentally. Such fundamental change would be incompatible with the frameworks and their respective ecosystems, rendering them useless. I think that's a bit overstating it. And a framework makes certain assumptions, such as that all rendering is synchronous, adding asynchronous lazy loading becomes pretty close to impossible. Okay, good. Or if a framework recovers the listener location from templates, then download, and so on. And then they talk about why that is important. So Qwik is all about speed. So let's jump here. Okay, so we started getting started. And they have something called Quick City. And now with routing, it requires Node.js 16 or higher. So that this will be for Meteor 3 at the earliest. And then we have the thing Quick. So this will be more of a conceptual because I'm getting pestered to start working on the dinner, which is my task today. That's Barnyard, quick joke app. Okay, that loaded super fast. So let's look at how they have things here. Component from builder quick. I am not too fond of having these special symbols added to things. There's just we have normal classes, sections as normal. Everybody's happy. So let's see, loading. We will use external JSON API from the jokes. And joke will use route loader to load this data and in the server and then render it in the component. So that's a big difference from Solid, that this one case is pretty much, this is on the server, and then it starts if there's anything that needs to be handled on the client or like anything dynamically, then it does it there. Like here, the action, which, okay. That's what it does here. So value up and down. Okay, so it does things. And just quickly posting data on the server. So I'll also use something like signal. Let's see. Form action, favorite joke action, use joke vote action, which is where you wrote action, then gets the properties from it and does something or nothing. Yeah, this is the problem I'm having with the, say, server first approaches. I'll probably give them props. Not sure how much of it's solid that they're fast. So let's just assume they are. I just feel that I'm not used to it, so that definitely, I would say, colors my thinking here. And with that, this is becoming much more, let's say, like looking side eyes on it, because I'm not exactly sure how that works. I would have to play with it, and sadly we don't have enough time today because of my other obligation to jump more into it. So we are just looking through the documentation. So here is the server code. well, it is a similar pattern that we have it all in one file, and then the server takes care to communicate and do all the other things. So in that way, from many other frameworks, say it's better in certain aspects. Some pretty nice jokes. So use tasks. So it has use signals as well. And here we have it does here again. Here it says here again, if server, then do this, otherwise fine. And based on their claims at the beginning, it probably tries to do as much as possible on the server, and then only really get to the client if it's needed, which is okay. So that's interesting. I think definitely worth a look. I would absolutely say this is worth it if you are going for where you really need the speed or to be on the edge. Another big thing is it also has the Quick City. So Quick has the components, and Quick City contains the other stuff. So routing, pages, layouts, loaders, actions, validators, endpoints, middleware, server, cache, and event variables. So that kind of makes it less desirable to integrate into Meteor, I would say, for me as well, because it has its own thing, which is not, it's good for them. They have then their specialized city where everything works towards their main goals, which is speed. So I would, if I would start with Quake, I would definitely use their Quick City and don't bother with anything else. With that said, haven't seen anything for like real-time data or stuff like that, which would make sense. Maybe I'll find it here. I have a lot of other, let's see what speculative module that might be it. Ability to start up without JavaScript. In addition to this, speculative module fetching is a powerful feature. Allows Quick to pre-populate the browser cache in a background thread. Okay, so that again, speed. So we pre-cache everything, or it speculates probably where you're going to go next. I'm guessing without reading. So please don't kill me, Quick fans. Here we have wheat, largest wheat. So we could integrate it potentially, at least the basic Quick stuff, into Meteor, because we already have that working. Yeah, Quick wheat. So I kind of get the feeling it's more towards the static sites, or at least not as interactive what I would be potentially building with Meteor. Maybe today, if I would be, yeah, I think it will be more towards presentational page where there is limited interaction, or at least that's where I would put it, because I think that is where this could shine the most. I think the more interaction you have, the more I think it could potentially struggle. Let's see here some other integrations. So Alt.js, okay, so it also has the user stuff there. Astro, some icons, image optimization, Party Town, again, that's loading optimization, which I want to try to get into stuff. And yeah, React, that's quick React. Okay, so that pretty much allows you to use React components and stuff within Quick, which is great for transitioning. Love it. And yeah, we can also use dependencies from React. This is really great. I don't recall seeing anything like that with Solid, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, nothing on the first look here in Solid, but that makes it interesting, easier to integrate and other things. So, Za, hi Rodrigo, stopping by, and we are just about to end anyway. So, how are you doing? So, just looking at Quick, not something that we can probably work on now. I'll look into that once Meteor 3 comes out. So if probably end of the year, because I'll be busy as crazy. And yeah, we'll have and I have prepared the update for wheat in our Solid example, so I'll have PR for that soon. And that leaves me to do after this a blaze to removal PR that I have started from what I said at the beginning that I wanted to do. Yeah, Tailwind, Supabase, and VTest. Definitely would say that Quick is a solid, probably better to migrate to from React. Can also takes me because I feel React is more getting towards the, I said, more static, less interactive websites. So in that case, it's much more easier to migrate like that. But I am thoroughly impressed, at least from the documentation and from what I've tested with Solid. We'll be looking at Lit Universe and a few other places to kind of rethink and analyze our tech stack. For myself, I'll be sticking with Meteor on, say, the server. But Solid is interesting. If we could figure out how to have Solid and React side by side in the code base as we transition, because that's going to be at least year or two transition given our code base, that would be awesome. Or who knows, maybe something after Solid and Quick, the next generation, that I could easily transition with React. Hopefully, that would be nice. And another thing that I might be considering would be Hono as well, to integrate it, maybe in the future replace Express in Meteor. But that's a big question, because Hono itself also has integrated JSX. It has all this stuff that you need for static rendering, but it also has like some client components through this. So that might be. Let's see. Do we have? Last thing to click here would be Solid. So nothing here. Oh no, JS, SolidJS. Doesn't look like they are integrated together, but at the same time, if you go for Hono, you have a lot of these things all together. So a lot of interesting. So I'm looking into Hono more and more, and that will be something I think maybe for my new projects I will, or if I have some small project that's not related to Meteor, I might try it out. But I think putting that in instead of Express, might be an interesting thing. What do you think, Frederica? Fred? And we might, we'll have to kind of look, what's faster, how does everything works, kind of changing, going from Connect, which is in Meteor 2, to Express in Meteor 3. It's easy because they have pretty much identical API. Actually, going to Express, I will lose some dependencies. And Hono, that's like another big thing with Hono. You can deploy it on freaking almost everywhere. You just have to have a little bit different startup on some of these things, and there are some limitations and some benefits to different ones. But if you want to, I have made a video about a month back or so where I took a deep dive into Hono, and let's just say made me put it on my watch list at the top. So does some web frameworks have session store linked to server-side database, not anything to cookies and local storage? Qwik seem to be like that, but I think they definitely also have sometimes, some things locally, especially once you activate the reactivity. Until then, it's probably on server. And can Hono use same code for this way? That's what I've answered. But specifically, if it does generate per platform files only, tough thing. Maybe something definitely given Lori what you do with backend, I think is definitely Hono is definitely something to look at just because of where it could run to. I'm thinking why I want it kind of in Meteor is because of the speed, because of the options. It could potentially, as you can see here, it has JSX, its own JSX. So if we can have that, then makes it interesting. It has RPC, which though I don't think could necessarily replace methods or subscriptions. It could be another option to add that, so it will give you more options into that. It has some basic validators and some other things. It's a cool project. We're looking for lot of stuff built in, relatively speaking. So kind of joining those together or figuring out how to maybe add the subscription in it, or subscriptions and all those other real-time stuff that Meteor has could be pretty cool. Not to mention potentially then, as was talked previously, with once Bun came around, being able to use, if you want to maybe use Node.js or Bun with Meteor, if you had like Hono underneath it, would be possible. So right now, very theoretical. But since I have already started looking into maybe using Bun instead of Node underneath, changing Express to Hono might be actually even easier. But I would say it would be definitely something. So you ask one more thing. Last question about Hono. Can Hono run npm packages server-side at Cloudflare workers? I do recall seeing something in the in the docs when it came to, where was it? Cloudflare workers. So yeah, apparently yes, it has here npm to do stuff, but I do believe they have some limitations. So I'll just post that in the chat for you, Lori, so you can look into that more. So definitely, recommend. Of course, we have Node.js. So yeah, after we are on Node 20, I'll be maybe start a little bit experimentation, replacing Express with Hono and seeing how I can make it work. And another thing big here is Solid might be really nice. I would, more deeper integration, I think, between Solid and Meteor might work out very well. What we've seen today has been actually very positive. And even though I kind of play here with, create resource, we can still use, I really like that you can just use plain Meteor functions, that you don't have to do some crazy wrapping, and Solid is happy. Well, I'm quite happy with that. So those are kind of like the big things. And then maybe if we can, so it will be these are kind of the two things that I'll be watching closely as they develop. So Solid and Hono. And then of course we have to see what bundler we get in Meteor. But on Meteor, more will be next time. Let me actually take a look what I have scheduled for next time. Building auth provider. Yes, that's going to be fun. I'll be most likely building 2 or 3 auth providers in that episode. So definitely check it out next Monday. At least leave a like, share this if you find this enjoyable. This was just me going and exploring. I think there's an interesting stuff going on beyond React, especially with Solid, which kind of tickles my reactive stuff, or reactive touch with Meteor that we had. And React itself also is, give it to them, is working on new stuff. So I'm looking to what they are going to have in React 19. Some of the stuff I like, some of the less I like. But at the very least, it will reduce hopefully one of my dependencies. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining, for your input on probably not as strong episodes as other today. But let me know in the comments if this was interesting. We at least got 1 PR for Meteor from this. And let me know if what you would like to see in the future. I already have a schedule for March, but beyond that, things are a bit still in the air. And so again, thank you very much. Also, last reminder, if you found this interesting, enjoyable, or would like to support me in my journey to get more things done in open source and in the streams, I'm sending my links to my GitHub sponsor, where you can sponsor me and also get access to sponsorware and other bonuses. Like, for example, you will be able to come on these streams and ask me questions about anything that comes to your mind, and if appropriate, then I'll be happy to answer and work on problems. And with that, once again, thank you very much. This is it for today. I'll be back on Friday with Meteor dispatches. That's on the Meteor community channel. And of course, on Monday, or maybe also some random streams for relaxation, or if I find something awesome. Again, thank you very much, and see you next time.